On the 11th of November 1918, after 123 years of occupation, Poland returned to the map of Europe. This happened due to several factors. Among them were the weakness of the three partitioning powers, as each of them lost in the Great War, and the determination of Poles who were thirsty for freedom. However, we look at the reasons. It had to be the will of the Polish people to regain independence. If it hadn't been for that, no one would have given us independence. Then, 107 years ago, we witnessed a great national agreement. The symbol of this reconciliation is the six fathers of Polish independence: Józef Pilsudski, Roman Dmowski, Ignacy Pandarewski, Wincenty Witos, Ignacy Daszyński, and Wojciech Korfanty. Each of them represented a different vision of Poland, but they were united by their service to independence.
Dlaczego? Po co?
Why? For what reason? And how did they reach this consensus that Poland is the most important? They were simply raised with the idea of Poland regaining its independence. Those 123 years we talked about at the very beginning of our conversation were a constant struggle to regain independence. At that time, we had a wonderful elite, an intellectual, cultural, religious and political elite. The official celebrations began with a symbolic tribute to Polish national heroes. Flowers were laid in front of the monuments to the fathers of Polish independence. The official celebrations began with a symbolic tribute to Polish national heroes. Flowers were laid in front of the monuments to the fathers of Polish independence. According to many, there would be no free Poland without the Catholic Church, which was the center of promoting Polishness during the years of partition. That is why the national holiday would not be complete without a solemn liturgy in the Temple of Divine Providence.
Narodowe Święto Niepodległości zachęca nas.
The National Independence Holiday encourages us to think about our homeland and to take on the responsibilities that rightfully belong to it. Following in the footsteps of the fathers of our independence, let us think about Poland not only on holidays. Let us think with gratitude and concern about its present and future shape. The National Independence Holiday is above all a day for all Poles. Everyone spends it as best they can. One option was the Independence Run through the streets of Warsaw. Others chose to attend the Independence March, which has been gathering Polish patriots for over a dozen years. Poland would not be independent today if it weren't for people of culture such as Mickiewicz, Sienkiewicz and Chopin, who fueled the Polish spirit during the years of partition. We are still reaping the fruits of their labors today. The situation in the Polish healthcare system is so bad that patients who need medical help the most, those whose lives are at risk, are being turned away. Alarmed by the plight of Poles, the Polish president wants to convene a cabinet council. But what about the government? It's not discussing the problems, and there are more and more of them. Now we learn that money from the National Recovery Plan has gone to private cardiology clinics. Is the government moving towards privatizing hospitals? Today, I took a closer look at the situation. You can count on the fingers of one hand the number of people satisfied with the state of the healthcare system. There are queues in hospitals. Specialists are unavailable. People wait for months. This year, there is no more money for treatment. You have to wait 2 to 3 months to see a specialist. No way. I've been waiting for 6 months. I made an appointment with a dermatologist in the summer. I can't get an appointment with a urologist. I got an appointment for the 5th of January. This year, there was a shortfall of 14 billion zloty, and next year, we already know that there will be another shortfall of 23 billion zloty. What's next? Patients waiting for postponed operations and sick people waiting for a diagnosis don't know. Local government officials who have to contribute to the functioning of district hospitals have no idea. Today we have to contribute 8 million zloty from the local government budget to save the hospital. This is the task of the Polish Ministry of Health. However, the National Health Fund's treasury is empty. I see these billions disappearing from the National Health Fund. This matter worries me greatly. I am considering whether to convene a cabinet meeting at the beginning of the year dedicated to the situation in the health service. We cannot leave patients on their own. This is, of course, the result of the dire state of public finances, which is reflected in all spheres of social life. So far, there has been no official announcement that the Polish Ministry of Health intends to take action. There are plans to create a project to subsidize hospitals from the medical fund, which serves patients. The economic situation looks poor. Finances are on the verge of bankruptcy, and money for healthcare has run out.
Szpitale będą bankrutować.
Hospitals will go bankrupt, local governments will get rid of them, and hospitals will be privatized, which is what the civic platform has been striving for from the beginning. The results of the latest distribution of money from the National Reconstruction Plan are a sign of the civic coalition's desire to privatize hospitals. The money went to private cardiology clinics. Money from the National Reconstruction Plan went to 20 private clinics. That is as much as 220 million to private chains of cardiology clinics. This raises very legitimate concerns about whether Donald Tusk's government knows which direction Polish healthcare should take. When there is not enough money for the continuing treatment of people, the Civic Coalition pays money to private entities. It also seeks savings in the salaries of doctors who save human lives. We are reaching a point where this critical mass of missing funds and patients being moved to the next year simply makes the system completely dysfunctional and inefficient. So far, the only public statement from the government on this issue, which we have been warning of for a week, is fragmentary information from interviews with the Polish Minister of Health, who is also the manager of a hospital in Pomerania and would like to close 1/3 of all facilities. We assume that 30% of hospitals in our country are surplus. This will result in fewer hospitals, and maternity wards will move to emergency rooms, where pregnant women will await the birth of their children alongside accident victims and intoxicated individuals. The government is responsible for the state of finances. What is happening today with public finances is terrifying. Time is of the essence in treating cancer patients. The government has been silent on the matter for a week.
We've seen some crazy stuff.
When the president of Ukraine was giving an interview to a British journalist, suddenly darkness fell.
Hard times. Electricity.
Electricity is gone.
Not everything.
Okay, good. Oh my God.
Це вирубається, да?
We're switching to generator right now.
Нормально, наші життєві.
Power and heat outages are now a daily occurrence in Ukraine. With winter approaching, the Russian army has changed its tactics and is now conducting massive attacks on Ukraine's energy infrastructure, mainly heating plants and power stations.
Енергетики працюють.
In recent days, our power engineers and technicians have been working non-stop. The Russians are constantly attacking our energy systems, mainly with ballistic missiles, which is why the losses are so great. Many residents are without electricity and heat. Kyiv has reported that up to 90% of Ukrainian combined heat and power plants have been damaged, and some of them have been completely destroyed. The worst situation is, of course, in schools, hospitals, places that the Russians are capable of attacking in a truly barbaric manner. Fear and terror are methods used by the Kremlin against defenseless civilians, the residents of Ukrainian cities.
Przychodzi zima.
Winter is coming, a very difficult period when we consider the war in Ukraine. This is not the first time that the Russians have wanted to strike at the energy infrastructure in an attempt to lower the morale of the Ukrainian people. It looks like it will be a particularly difficult winter for Ukrainians. Especially for families who can only rely on their own resources. We have no electricity, no water, no heating, we are cold. Those who can go to their families in the countryside to wait out this time, but we have no one left. And it is precisely these people who must survive another winter, protecting themselves not only from the cold, but also from Russian bombs.
Are you here, nation? A strong community that has not been broken by any historical adversity. This is a timeless message that resonates very loudly today. Courage and faith in independence were alive even when circumstances stifled all hope.
30
30 generations created a beautiful, wonderful Poland before it fell under the pressure of 3 partitioning powers. But after those 30, more generations came, who built the Republic. 5 generations of Poles ready to fight for what was most important. 5 generations of Poles ready for the uprising and insurrection. Every year, Poles celebrate Independence Day in a special way. Independence Day is a national holiday. All Poles should participate in the national holiday because we are one great Polish nation. This is appreciated by many foreign guests and observers. I came here with my son from Belgium. He was born in Brussels. What can I say? I wanted to show him what it looks like. It doesn't look the same on TV as it does live. Live, it really makes a strong impression.
I love Poland.
Love Poland? Why?
I live here. The sense of national pride, it's something to look up to, for sure. We don't have this in England these days, and I think this is growing, this kind of sentiment in England.
I was surprised that there were also people from France, Ireland, and America. British activist Tommy Robinson, known for his patriotic views and criticism of migration policy, also flew to Warsaw to take part in this unique event.
The Nazi occupation, and when I come here last time I was shocked when I went through Polish history, because when I saw the show of pride and patriotism and nationalism and compared it to what we've got back home, I tried to understand their feeling, where it comes from. And so I started looking through Polish history. I was shocked. Yeah? Always been outnumbered.
To celebrate Polish independence, the Empire State Building in New York was lit up in white and red. The illumination was activated by a special guest who needs no introduction, Robert Lewandowski. I am very proud. As I said earlier, this is not only an honor for me, but also for all Poles in the entire homeland, that we celebrated this Independence Day in the center of New York City. We are a wonderful country. We have wonderful people who also support this homeland. On behalf of U.S. President Donald Trump, the U.S. Ambassador to our country, Tom Rose, extended his wishes to the Polish people.
Thousands of Poles are coming out. They're showing their love, respect, and patriotism for their country.
Greetings also came from European capitals.
Życzymy wszystkim polskim przyjaciołom szczęśliwego dnia niepodległości.
Warm congratulations to our Polish friends and allies celebrating their National Independence Day. Our nations have stood side by side for centuries, united by shared history, courage, and friendship between our people. There are few holidays like this one in the calendar of national holidays. It is the most beautiful, joyful, and important holiday, celebrating our independence and sovereignty, but also setting specific tasks for us for the future. After years of captivity, Poland is once again a strong and sovereign state that loudly pursues its own interests and ambitions.